cpfc representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's Sellers. Rev up the engines, no more rivers, reactions, fankers, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Big up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and it is another match preview. And as always, you know we've got to get our boy Callum in the building. Cal, first things first, how's it going?
Not too bad, bro. It's a pleasure being on the channel, man. Always a pleasure, bro. I feel like we've worked together loads because we played each other loads in the last couple of months, so I'm enjoying it, man. Obviously, could have done with the results being a bit different, but yeah, loving it either way, though, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, you know. I'm doing good. Can't complain. Life's good. Football's good at the minute too. I won't lie. But let's get into it. Look, last time we met, we did a preview, was outside Sellers Park. I think the feedback from it was excellent, and I know we're going to look to do a lot more together 100%. In person in the future. But let's talk about the game itself, just very briefly, because obviously we're going into the new season. You had bags of signings and stuff. Once again, I know it happened a couple of months ago, but apologies for the minority that were a little bit disrespectful with the Jota silence. And then there was also other fans that, unfortunately, through Wembley's fault, came in late. So they've come in and gone, "Here you go," not knowing that everything's going on. So apologies for that. But let's talk about the game. Obviously,
can I stop you? Big up for the apology, but also one thing we need to do as humans, we need to speak about the majority as well. Because yes, the minority might have done things, the majority were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's big up the majority as well, because the majority of the Palace fans were respectful and they did their bit. So let's big those fans up rather than focus on them.
No, I hear that.
Minority.
Well,
that's
a great point. I mean, it was just like I said, it was just a bit disappointing that like they took the majority to tell the others to shut up. Which then effectively made more noise. You know?
No, but you know, it happens sometimes, man. Big up to the majority, man. We have to big up the majority.
100%. So yeah. Obviously, we've won the game on penalties. Yeah. Is that something that you kind of expected? Because, like, you know, for us, it's a big game. How did you see it as a Liverpool fan?
I'm actually in the minority here. I really wanted to win that. We spoke about this. I really wanted to win the Community Shield, and I don't like this arrogance in the big six clubs where we downplay certain trophies and all that. Like, football's about winning trophies. We, as Liverpool fans, call ourselves the most successful club in England. And with that, because we've won numerous trophies, not just the Premier League and the Champions League, we've won FA Cups and Carabao Cups as well, and Community Shield. So I desperately wanted to win it. I understand there's a little curse around it, but I still wanted to lift the trophy. And obviously, you were there, I was there. By watching Crystal Palace lift it and hearing the fireworks going off and all that, it weren't nice as a Liverpool fan. But at the same time, I do have to hold my hands up and tip my hat to Crystal Palace. I think you battled really well on the day. Second half was all you, pretty much. And I can't moan. You guys were brilliant at the penalties. Dean Henderson was really good, and your penalty takers were brilliant. Like, some of the best penalties I've seen in a while. So no complaints about the result or the manner in which it happened. Wish we had won it. But yeah, you deserved it, man. So big up Crystal Palace. 2 trophies in the space of a couple of months. Trip down to Wembley in a couple of months and 100% record there. So yeah, have to big up Palace, man.
100%. No, obviously we were buzzing about it. Just on that note, obviously something that was very apparent to us was that defensively you didn't look the best, and this is obviously going to lead into our next topic. But it seemed as if both Konate and Van Dijk, is it a case where they're losing a yard of pace? Like, how do you see it as a Liverpool fan?
All right, so the Palace game, I thought Konate was fine in the Palace game, but Virgil uncharacteristically was really bad. Gave away the penalty and then was out of position for the second goal. And he even said it after the game as well. He just like had a bad game. He's got to make sure that doesn't happen again. Konate in the first 2 league games of the season was really bad. Like, the Bournemouth game, he was bad, and then the Newcastle game, he was bad. But since then, him and Virgil have been very good, like really good, like back to their best. The issue we've had from a defensive standpoint, we're still getting caught on a transition. And I think we're still getting used to playing with Frimpong and Kirkhead, but also the midfield as well. McAllister, in my opinion, on form is our best midfielder, but he's not had a great start to the season. So, and then with Wirtz in there now, it's not Szoboszlai in the 10, who's more of a defensive 10. So I still think we're trying to get used to all the new components in the team. But to be 5 wins from 5, I can't complain at this stage. And I think are we the only 2 teams that are still unbeaten in the league so far?
We're going to get to that, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so can't complain, man. Can't complain.
100%. And you mentioned there, obviously, Frimpong and Kirkhead. Is the issue that they're so attack-minded that's kind of leaving you a bit exposed?
Yeah, 100%. But also, we're not well, I can't say we're not because I'm not on the pitch, but from the outside looking in, it seems like we're not communicating and we're not thinking about the potential next step. So when Frimpong goes forward, for me, I prefer a lopsided attack from the fullback. So rather than both fullbacks advancing, if you're going to do that, then Gravenberch has got to sit in between the 2 centre backs. But for me, if Frimpong goes, then for me, Kirkhead should hang back a bit and then vice versa. But that hasn't really happened. And look, Kirkhead has actually started to play better over the last few games. Frimpong against Southampton looked really, it was a weird performance from me because passing was all over the place. His decision maker was a bit weird, but they're both players who will give 100%. And I'll take that all day long because Trent was fantastic on the ball, but sometimes he could just be a little bit lazy, and that comes with its own issues as well. So I reckon with time, the defense will get it right.
Sure. Speaking of defense, like I said, it's going to lead lovely into a player that we've both discussed in the past.
He was wearing a training kit, bro. He was wearing a training kit, Rich. He should be a Liverpool player, Rich.
All right. I'm going to give you a timeline of events.
Yeah.
All right. And then obviously you can say whether you agree with it, disagree, and so on and so forth and stuff. So obviously, look, we knew at the back end of last season we're potentially going to lose Mark and Ebbs. That's what we knew. And even with the Ebbs situation, when you look at it, like it took Tottenham to have to put in the right bid for Arsenal to then say, oh, actually, hold on, we've got to put the right bid in. We spoke many a time, and I've always been adamant with you. It has to be 45, no matter how that 45 comes, whether it's 40 plus 5 or 45 flat. And that was the stance from the club, you know. Up until Steve Parish decides to come out in public after Community Shield and say, we cannot afford to lose him for free.
Yeah.
And this is where I don't blame Liverpool for their stance. They said, fine, we'll wait this out.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, look, I want to kind of ask you in the sense of like the latter stages of it. Do you believe that Palace had asked for Mark to play in those Europa Conference League games? Because with Ebbs, he didn't play them.
I reckon they probably did. So Guehi's the captain of the club. Plus, Eze's one was it happens. It was happening around the time of the game. So at the time, Crystal Palace couldn't take the risk of not playing him, and Liverpool potentially not coming in with a proper bid. Because let's be honest, Liverpool could have really tried to low ball, and Palace would have just been like, no. And then you're looking back thinking, well, if Guehi played those games, then we could have been in a better position. So again, it's hard for me to sit here and really get annoyed with Crystal Palace. I was more annoyed for Guehi that he came down to Liverpool and did the medical and all that. But from Palace's stance, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it in the sense of, well, Palace accepted the bid and then went back on their word. Or you could look at it as Liverpool could have just bid the extra money earlier in the window and we wouldn't have had that problem on the last day. So depending on which way you look at it is depending on how you'll have your outlook. But at the end of the day, he's still a Crystal Palace player, and Liverpool, we haven't quote unquote left ourselves short for a centre back because we had 4, but we still left ourselves short because we know Gomez unfortunately has had injury issues over his career, and Konate hasn't put a massive run together without injuries either. So it was always going to be a risk without Guehi. And again, we've spoken about this. as much as I rate Guehi, I still question whether he would suit Liverpool's style in terms of from a defensive standpoint, but from an attacking standpoint, with his passing, his dribbling, and his composure on the ball, he would have been such a massive weapon for us, in my opinion. But it depends now. With Leone being out injured, it depends what's going to happen now, because I keep on saying, a lot of Liverpool fans yesterday and today have just been like, yep, Guehi on the 1st of January, make it happen. I'm like, Crystal Palace might just say no, because if you're progressing in the Conference League, 15, 20 mil, you might look at that and go, we'd rather keep him rather than get the 15, 20 mil, try and win that trophy, which is going to be worth more than that 15, 20 mil. So it's a tricky situation. And then obviously, as we've spoken about, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Chelsea, Man City, maybe even Arsenal, if they lose a centre-back, could all be in for Guehi. So he's gone from Liverpool being the main place to, I've got the pick of a bunch now. And let's be real, bro. If you're leaving on a free, you're going to get a higher salary than you normally would. Bro, we could offer him 150 and someone could offer him 200. Guehi's got to think about his future. And again, I'm hoping he's going to say, yeah, I picked Liverpool. But if we offer him 150k and let's say Chelsea offer him 200k, I can't begrudge him for going to Chelsea.
And that signing bonus will be crazy.
Signing bonus is going to be mad. And he's a guaranteed starter for most of these other clubs. If we keep Konate, he's not a guaranteed starter. So there's a lot of moving pieces with this one, but I do hope we still get him. And if not, then we have to go and move for someone else.
Yeah, just on that, there was obviously I don't know how true this was, but there was loose links with Joe Gomez coming to us.
Yeah, I heard that. But apparently you guys rejected that deal.
That's interesting. I heard. Apparently, we heard from our sources that he rejected it.
See, that's what I mean. So I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, because obviously that he was about to go to AC Milan, and I think that fell through because the Guehi situation fell through, and that was literally because we couldn't get a replacement. I know people argue, but you've had so much time to get a replacement in. We can only get replacement in once we know the money's there.
Well, not just that. Anyone who says that can turn around and say, well, you had so long to bid for Guehi and you didn't.
Yeah, exactly that. And like I said, I know some Liverpool fans will be disappointed with us as a club of how we've been perceived to conduct ourselves. Clarification, Glasnow did not say that he's leaving the club, just for clarification.
Yeah.
And he came out publicly and said, listen, that's not the truth. And also blame West Ham, because they decided to come in for a defender that we were going to get on loan in Igor Julio. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy he's not in. Because imagine he replaced Mark.
Yeah,
that's a disgrace. He's Brighton's 6th choice centre back. And West Ham obviously decided to take him. He went to West Ham because he was told he's not going to get guaranteed minutes.
Yeah. What happened with the whole Diamondi situation? Because he looked like he was nailed on. The Palace at one stage.
But that was based on the fact that we were hoping to get 45 from you at the start. So personal terms was already good to go. And we're just waiting for Liverpool to say, boom, 45 million. Guehi would have gone with our blessing. Sporting, there's 45.
I get you.
That's what we would have, but it didn't materialize. So
yeah, I get you.
Yeah. That's the Guehi saga. Yeah. But you had a bit of a saga of your own, didn't you? In a certain number 9. Now, it brings about an interesting dilemma. Should players force their way out? Because technically Mark did the professional thing and did the right thing and didn't get the move he would have liked. Whereas Isak did technically the wrong thing and did. Where do you stand with that whole dynamic? Would you rather a player join you from rebellion or join you the right way?
I'm going to be as honest as I can with this. As football fans, we don't care how a player leaves their previous club if they're coming to us, but we seem to care if a player leaves us to go somewhere else.
The bad way, yeah.
Now, what I will say about the Isak stuff, and I think Eddie Howe even came out and spoke about it, I think Isak was given gentlemen's agreements.
He was,
and he took it as those gentlemen agreements will be honoured, and the fact that they weren't honoured, for me, was what rubbed him up the wrong way. However, what I also will say, if Isak had gone on strike or was rebellious to what has been stated, he would have been fined by the club and worse. And that never happened. So I think there was a lot of Newcastle trying to save face in the saga. Because remember, they came out with a statement after the first bid and were like, we're not selling under any circumstances. Newcastle didn't cover themselves in glory with this whole saga, because if they'd sold Isak earlier, I think they would have been fine and they would have found replacements and stuff. But if you're Sesko and all these players, you're thinking, is Isak still going to be there or not? Because if he is, then I'm not going to be a starter. So why'd I go there? So they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Plus, everyone was rejecting them left, right, and centre. So
yeah,
look, I can't begrudge Guehi for what he did because, as you said, it's a professional approach. And look, even if he does leave on a free, no one can turn around and say anything to Guehi now. Anything. No Palace fan, no Liverpool fan can say anything because he's quote unquote done it the right way. And look, he's always going to be a Palace legend because he led you to your trophy. But there's a part of me that feels his legendary status is going to be even higher. And it's the complete opposite of a Trent, for example, who achieved everything on the pitch, but Liverpool fans just don't love him like that. And I think it'll be the opposite with Guehi. So
you're absolutely spot on there because, like, you can see him even now, just a model professional. Yeah. He's still doing what he was doing before, and he's not complained or anything. He just got on with his job.
Can I ask you a question, Rich? Because you're going to watch him more than I do. Where would you rank him in terms of Premier League centre-backs?
I think we had this conversation.
We did, but I think it's like, so Liverpool fans, again, I hate to call out our own fans, but we do this thing where if we link to a player, we just really boost them up. Because I'll be honest, before we linked with Guehi, I didn't really hear Liverpool fans talking about him. Not in a bad way, but I never heard Liverpool fans going out their way to say, we need this player.
Yeah.
Where would you say he sits? Because for me, Virgil's number one. I'd probably go Gabriel number two. Maybe Gvardiol 3.
I would put Saliba over Gvardiol, to be honest.
See, you're not going to maybe agree, and I know a lot of people won't. I actually have Konate better than Saliba. I know Saliba looks pretty on the ball, but I think Konate is actually the better centre-back. I've got Saliba as number 5.
Do you know what sounds weird? I think Gvardiol's a better left-back than he's a centre-back.
I think he's both. I think Gvardiol is really good at centre-back as well.
Yeah.
I've got Guehi in the top 10.
See, and I know maybe I'm putting my Palace bias in. I would put Mark over Konate.
See, you're not the only person. D said that. I think JC said that as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think, maybe it's a Palace bias because all three of you are Palace fans. But don't be surprised. Like a lot of people who are in the Liverpool fan, or should I say in the Coppish community, they were like, Guehi over Konate as well. So I don't think it's just
because you know what? And I'm not saying players can't have a bad game. It happens. But actually watching Konate, because that was probably the first time I've seen him live. And I was like, if it weren't for his pace and his strength, he don't really look that good.
Yeah, I hear that to an extent as well.
But then when you look at Mark, no matter who he's playing up against, he's relaxed, he's composed.
Yeah.
He can play it from the back. And because even in that community shield game, it took him to play diagonals to Munoz for us to just get any sort of form of
attack going.
You know what I mean? Like his leadership and all of like he's so good.
And he's loved as well. You can see he's really adored. So the steps going up to lift the trophy. I captured a moment of him, and I think it might have been Joel Ward. And like they were like embracing for a long time, and every Palace player that walked past Guehi was just, you could see how much respect he's got in that squad from his peers. And I don't think that just happens overnight. I think you have to prove yourself on and off the pitch, and I think he does that. And again, I think it's one of the things that a lot of Liverpool fans really admire about him, because we are a club that really pride ourselves on trying not to sign certain characters, but we also try and sign certain characters, and I think Guehi fits into that mold absolutely brilliantly. No,
absolutely. I mean, just very quickly before we move on, just talking on Konate, because when you think about it, Mark and Konate are in the exact same scenario.
Yeah.
How how are the Liverpool fans taking to? Because it looks as if he may not be signing a new deal by the looks of it.
It's dark, bro. There's a lot of Liverpool fans crashing out on Konate. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Konate fan. I understand some of his limitations, but I'm a big Konate fan. Honestly, bro, I don't know if he stays. I genuinely don't.
So is the crash out because he's going to leave on a free?
The crash out is that he's going to Real Madrid, in my opinion, because we've just seen Trent do it and we saw how that went down. So I think the crash out is that he's going to Real Madrid on a free. But I can't blame the player either.
If you lot don't get Mark as well,
oh,
if they both end up at Real,
dark, because that effectively fixes Real Madrid's centre back situation if them two go on a free.
They're laughing, you know, and they're the kings of free.
Did you see Guehi going Real Madrid though?
He can play wherever he wants. I
think he could play there and be comfortable. But do you think he wants to go?
He will choose there. It's difficult to say what players' mentalities and stuff is these days, because do you look at it on the footballing stand base, or do you look at it like, because the weather, like he's thinking Madrid, the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and like how many players could say, I've had the opportunity to play for Real Madrid. That's rare, especially for British players.
Yeah.
You've got a handful of players, and no disrespect to Liverpool, you won't get that sort of clout because obviously in the Premier League, you've got maybe a Man United, Chelsea, and Man City and stuff. But when it comes to the Liga, it's Real Madrid and Barcelona, realistically.
Yeah,
you know, and obviously that iconic all white.
Yeah,
there's something about it.
Yeah, Trent's there already. Bellingham's there.
Yeah,
obviously they're all on England duty together. Yeah,
no, this is it.
I think we need to. If not him, we have to move for someone. It has to be quite quick. If we lose Konate and we don't get Guehi, we've got a bit of a rebuild on our hands from the centre back situation. If I'm going to be honest, and with Virgil being 34 now as well. Is this the time where you really want to do a rebuild?
That's a good point.
Sure.
That's a good point.
Not too sure.
Speaking of your rebuild, you obviously rebuilt your attack
Come on.
to a very crazy level. But there is one player that's catching a lot of flack at the minute. Florian Wirtz. How has his performances been? Because, you know, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be real. It will be such a Palace thing for him to get his first goal against us.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he got the assist for Ekatike's goal in the Community Shield, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So here's the thing. He hasn't lit up the league, but I don't think he's been as bad as people have made out. But this is what comes with the pressure of being a high-valued or high-value transfer. So people see football on a surface level a lot of the times, and the surface level is goals and assists if you're a number 10, right? So if he's not got those, people are automatically going to say, oh, he's been a waste of money so far.
Yeah.
Truth is, we've not played to his strengths, and he also hasn't played to his maximum potential. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm a little annoyed we haven't seen more from the players around him and from him. But I'm not sitting here worried about his talent or what he does for the club or what he brings. I think he'll be fine once he clicks and the rest of the team click and we do what we do. He'll be fine. Like he'll be fine.
Let's just hope he clicks after Saturday, please.
I need it to click on Saturday, bro. I need that.
You've already got a 5-point lead, which obviously
that's what I'm saying. I need that because I tell you what, it's not just about winning the game and putting pressure on Arsenal. It's also I need Guehi to be like, oh, so that's the team that I should be going to. Like I need that.
You know what's bad? I want Guehi to score.
We probably will knowing him, bro. Because let's be real, he should have won a penalty in the fixture last season.
Yeah.
And Virgil pulled his arm and got away.
Yeah, you got that, and then you in the fixture last season. Granted, obviously, like in the first half, you missed a bag of chances.
Yeah, we did.
Second half, Ketia had a chance. Eze had a chance.
Yeah,
like it is crazy.
It's a game of two halves. Like we were fortunate to get out of there with the win in the end.
Yeah, no, indeed. But you haven't had an unbeaten start to the season, 5-5,
and you have as well.
We have quite a few draws though.
Still ain't lost though.
So we haven't lost. But obviously for you guys, incredible start. But there's something that you've done different this year. Late goals.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, growing up, that was synonymous with like Man United, Fergie time and stuff. What is it a case where you're not killing off teams enough, like quick enough in games? Because that's what was happening last year. You were just blowing teams away.
Yeah.
So are you finding that aspect difficult? Or is it just the fact that it's just mental fortitude that's saying we are making sure we come away with 3 points? Or it could be both, to be fair.
I was gonna say it's a bit of both. I'm gonna be real with you, Rich. I'm not as young as I'm getting older now, innit? I could just do. I'm happy with an easy 2-0 win and wrapped up by the 70th minute, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. In my 20s, yeah, give me all the excitement, bro. Now I'm in my 30s, bro. let me just get 2-0 by 70 minutes and let's just see this out. Yeah. But I do think it's both, bro. I think we've gone up in games, like we went up 2-0 against Bournemouth, got complacent, and they pulled it back to 2-2. 2-0 up against Newcastle, 10 men got complacent, they pulled it back.
And even before you went 2-0 up, they were all over you.
They were all over us, even with 10 men. So, and then obviously the Arsenal game and the Burnley game, we keep clean sheets. But then the Everton game, 2-0 up, go back to 2-1. So there is a complacency that creeps in when we go 1 or 2 goals up. But also we do.
And you've not conceded the first goal yet, have you?
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. But we do have that mentality. We've had that mentality for a while now, but we're really seeing it. But if I'll be real with you, if you were to ask Slot, I bet you Slot's not happy about that. Slot is a manager who likes to kill games off early so we can just relax on the pitch.
Yeah, because there was obviously an obvious game that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it felt like that you'll find it difficult in the sense of just being able to break the team down. And that was the Burnley game.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
You know, did it look obvious that a low block was, oh my gosh, we're having problems there?
Yeah, and obviously we didn't have Isak in the squad. It was such a frustrating game to watch because we just weren't creating. And we're just playing into Burnley's hands, and then obviously we get the handball and Salah dispatches a penalty. But bro, it was dark. Like, because we're watching the game, me, Matt, and Drift doing a watch along, watching the game, and at halftime we're like, we'll be all right. 80 minutes and it's still 0-0. We start to bicker amongst each other. Like, it starts getting toxic in the chat, and you're like, oh, like we need a win here. So for us to get a win there, plus I think some of our wins have aged really well. Like Bournemouth win has aged really well. But the Newcastle wins aged pretty well. The Arsenal win will always age well, and I have a feeling that Everton game is going to probably age well as well. So we've had some good wins, but as I said, I'm not just saying this because it's you or because this is the next game. I genuinely think this might be our toughest game so far this season because it seems as though Glasner just understands how to play against Slot, and that's a scary proposition.
No, that's good to hear, and I hope, because I know with Emery, like he tends to overthink with Glasner, and it doesn't work out for him. So hopefully Slot could overthink a little bit on Saturday. 2 more things. I must say, I am very happy with a certain Liverpool player who decided that he wanted to make a statement after scoring a goal against Southampton. Hugo Ekitike is suspended for the game on Saturday. What's your thoughts on it? Because I think he's silly. And how does that impact you? Because obviously we know Isak isn't 100% match fit.
I think it was a very silly moment, but I think it's a silly moment that will work out really well for him going forward. I think if we had lost the game or drawn the game, it would have been really bad for him. Because we won, we can just call it a silly moment. Slot was livid with him after the game, and I saw
when Frimpong rang over to him.
Yeah, so like Slot was livid with him. I think Ekitike came out and apologized straight away. But I do think it's good that this lessons happen now because he'll learn from it. He's quite an extrovert and he sometimes wears his emotions on his sleeve, like we saw with the 2 yellow cards yesterday. But I think he'll now know he needs to temper that down. But from this game standpoint, it's very annoying because Isak, as we saw yesterday in the Southampton game, isn't fully fit. And even though he's still a goal threat and he took his goal brilliantly, we can't force him. And then I don't see anyone else who can play that number 9 effectively against a back three who are as good as Crystal Palace. So then you're thinking, is it Jaden Dams from the academy who had a little cameo appearance yesterday? So Slot's got a slight headache with this situation, but that's why he gets paid the big bucks, and that's why we consider him a great manager, because he usually is able to figure these things out. So we have to now figure this out.
Sure. Obviously, from a Palace standpoint, like I said to you, it's great that like Ekitike would have started this game.
Yeah,
we know this, but then imagine 60 minutes gone, Isak comes on.
Tired.
It just means a problem for 90 minutes for our defense.
Yeah,
this event, which is fortunate for us, I'm not saying 100% does, but it may give our defenders a little bit of a respite.
Yeah,
at some point in the game. You know, obviously your youth product, Dan's might come on, and we might be able to deal with that. Don't know.
Yeah.
It's all a waiting game. We will obviously find out on Saturday. For me, looking forward to this game in a sense of just seeing what Burnley did. I'm hoping Glasner took that on board, because Glasner's a very he loves watching videos.
He's a tactician, man.
He's a proper tactician. So he'll probably have sat there and watched that 90-minute game against Burnley about 5 times.
Yeah.
And then showed the players about another 3 times. And then watch their game with his wife another 2 times. You know what I mean? Like, that's how he is.
Yeah.
So, and especially with Ismail Assar potentially being back, and I hope he does start, because I think this is the game that he does need to play in.
Yeah.
We'll just hopefully just look to counter-attack.
Yeah, that's what I expect. And
no disrespect to Virgil and to Kanate, but I think in the transition, especially if Kirkes and Frimpong bomb forward, which they just naturally do, I think we can find some pockets.
Saar always seems to do that against us as well. So
and quite Yoremi Pino has started really well for us. I think he just needs to work on his final pass.
Yeah, that will come with time.
Yeah, it will come with time. But when you actually watch his movement,
good player.
He's the only one that seems to find space.
Yeah,
he's so good at it.
Quality footballers always do.
They do, 100%. And the biggest factor, and I know obviously you lot want him next season, Adam Morton.
That's my guy, man.
He's so good.
it's him or Belabor, I reckon it will be. And there's such different profiles, but they both have such massive strengths. But I think in terms of, because of the type of teams we come up against, even though I think Belabor might be the more exciting player to watch, Wharton might potentially be the better fit for Liverpool, because he can find a pass, he can dictate a game. Look, I'm not complaining if we get either one of the players. I just think Liverpool might lead towards Wharton, and we need a little favour there, Rich. I'm not going to lie, brother. We need a little favour.
Yeah, I mean, the reports are saying already that you're saying 60 mil. It's clear that it's clear you don't learn your lesson.
Yeah. Even I can tell you ain't going to be 60 mil. You're looking at 80, I reckon.
80 plus, we're talking.
And he's got a good amount of time left on his deal as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 80 minimum.
So yeah. One thing I did forget to mention, obviously, regarding the Mark Guehi situation, we've signed a centre back called JD Campbell.
Yeah,
he's quite
decent.
He's cold. He's actually really good. Okay. He played in the Millwall Carabao Cup game. He looks like he's been with us for years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he'll obviously, like, if Mark goes next, we're expecting Mark to go to next season. Chelly Red will come back, and also Campbell will probably just start games and stuff. Right, last bit before we go. Does an unbeaten run come to an end this Saturday? What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Liverpool, but an ugly 2-1. I'm talking about, I'm screaming.
What, 90th minute again?
I don't think we'll get a 90th minute, but I reckon it will go 2-0 Liverpool, and then you'll get a goal back and just pile pressure on. Just pile pressure on. But I think we'll see it out. But we'll come away from the game as Liverpool fans going, bloody hell, I don't want another game like that.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think both teams will still remain undefeated.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I think Ismail Assar is massive for us in this game. But yeah, I will take that. And if we can, we've got Everton away next week. If we can get something from that, like a 3 points from that, maybe because they've been doing well as well.
Yeah, well, I just reckon if you give us the 3 points and then take 3 points from Everton, then it balances out.
We're trying to aim for 4. So can you behave, please?
If you beat us and then don't beat Everton, bro, I'll never.
No, but once again, that's Palace.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the Palace way. So listen, Callum, it's a pleasure as always, my bro.
Yeah, always,
pleasure as always,
now,
guys. You know what to do. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button to Team Coppish. Smash a like on all of their videos as well. Follow Cal and the boys, Drifty, Matty. Big up to them as well. Doing great content for the Liverpool.
Big up to the brothers at Eagle Eye as well. I'll be seeing you guys down there on Saturday as well, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then make sure you come and do a fan come with us as well.
Yeah, oh, bro, I have to, bro. But I better.
And it's always, like I say, it's always good to chat to you, bro.
Yeah, man,
so yeah, like, share, subscribe, everyone. And as always, up the Palace. Yeah.